Hey guys, back with another video. Today we're talking about Bitcoin frogs. They're up over 100% in the last few days. And also Solana NFTs, are they dead? They're just getting completely wrecked. And these Solana NFTs that I have the most conviction in, that I'm holding. So let's get into it. So Bitcoin frogs, really over the last few days, definitely over the last week, they've gone up from slightly under 0.02 to 0.042 as I record this right now. So that's a huge move, obviously, especially while NFTs in general are just getting absolutely decimated. They continue to just get absolutely decimated, and there hasn't been much hope. So, but here we have Bitcoin frogs coming alive massively. Now, I'm not aware of any major news really. I think it's mostly just influencers or whales buying up a lot of Bitcoin frogs, and then of course Twitter going crazy. So, but I want to talk more generally about what I think Bitcoin frogs got right, and what I think is, a much more sustainable kind of NFT. And that kind of goes into what I'm holding on Solana as well. Now, Bitcoin frogs, I think there's two things that make them very valuable. Number one is their historical value, which is they're kind of the original 10,000K, profile pic collection. That combined with they were minted for free. Not only were they minted for free, but there was a mistake, and a lot of all of the frogs in the original mint were minted without any attributes, or they at least were naked. I think they had like some attributes, but they were naked. And so they had to, make up for that by sending people who minted the, fixed versions of the frogs. And this actually was very expensive for the creators of the Bitcoin frogs. So for free, they, paid all this money to the people who minted to fix their mistake. And, they didn't pay the money to them, but they paid because it's costly. At that time, there was no recursive ordinals, so it's very expensive to run these mints, especially when it's 10,000 mints. Anyways, so that's a big part of it, and a lot of what they've done with the Bitcoin frogs community, not as utility or anything like that, but is really be educators in the Bitcoin space. For me, for example, being in that community, I finally learned how to run my own Bitcoin node, which, I've been in Bitcoin since 2017, and they got me to finally, start my own Bitcoin node. So to me, this is part of what makes it a historical collection. The fact that it was free, combined with the leader kind of being a leader by example and really driving the Bitcoin space forward, mostly with education, not any type of utility. In fact, that's part of what makes them great, is that they don't profess or promise any utility with the Bitcoin frogs. It's simply something to collect and hold without any utility, a historical as historical art on the Bitcoin blockchain. And that's it. And to me, that's much more sustainable than a project that professes to have some kind of utility, some kind of Ponzi-nomics. A lot of the time these might pump early on, but they eventually die out. But I think having a historical, no utility, no promises to live up to NFT is much more sustainable. And that's why I think Bitcoin frogs have, have staying power and will be here to stay, unlike 99.99999% of NFTs, which ultimately go to zero. Okay, so let's move on to Solana NFTs, and they have just been getting absolutely decimated. They continue to just go down, and yeah. I'm lucky, to be honest, that when Solana NFTs were going big, I made a huge, a few major wins. I didn't sell my Solana into USD as much as I could have, as I wish I did. In retrospect, obviously. But I made some major wins that definitely make up for, the losses that what has almost entirely just been losses since that bull market. But, the main point I want to make here is that, similar to Bitcoin frogs, what I hold now, what I have conviction now, for the most part, is just historical NFTs that don't profess to have any type of utility. That's true for most of my NFTs. In particular, creatures and Solarians. They're really just the OG Solana NFTs, which is why I hold them. The art isn't amazing. I think Solarian art is pretty cool and underrated. The fact that it's moving, there's not that many moving NFTs. They're robots. That's kind of original and unique. I have 10 of each of those, and they're just so cheap compared to OG NFTs on Ethereum, for example. And not only are they cheap, I just think the downside is limited, because obviously if Solana goes up 10x, 20x, even 5x, there's no promise that they will go up in Solana value. Okay, obviously they'll go up in USD value because Solana's gone up, but you might do better just hanging out in Solana. But the reason why I like them is because the downside is limited. It is very unlikely that these NFTs that are just OG NFTs are going to go to zero. Like the vast majority of other NFTs will end up going to zero. But OG historical NFTs, it's unlikely that they go to zero, in my opinion. So that's why I think they're the go-to NFTs to hold. Now, I do hold some other NFTs, but really that's the major point I wanted to make in this video, seeing as how Bitcoin Frogs has had this major move up, over 100% in a week or so. And that's the major takeaway, is that I think NFTs, one type of NFT that has staying power is no utility historical NFTs. So, let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. If you guys have other types of NFTs that you think will do really well in the next NFT bull market, if there is one. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe. See you guys next video.